Hello, in this video we will discuss about the exercise and the anaerobiosis and adaptation. So after the a hard workout, after a 1 week, the adaptation will occur. So in this video we will also understand about the physiology as well as lactate threshold. So this is the person which that is running. It means the fast running and fast breathing. It means the breathing is insufficient, non-sufficient, and in this way the oxygen consumption is less, while the carbon dioxide production will be more. So the governor in the brain or in the heart causing a slowing of the circulation in the heart, and in this way it will trigger lead to sympathetic nervous system activation. It means the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system activate. After the activation of the sympathetic nervous system will lead to target the heartbeat faster, and in this way the heartbeat can cause the in the heart output will be increased while the input will be decreased, and in this way the increase of the heartbeat means the cardiac output will be increased. So this is the aorta which that's contain oxygenated blood, while the deoxygenated blood from the superior and inferior vena cava. So this is the maximum cardiac output will be, and the cardiac output due to the circulation more for the giving the oxygen and nutrient to the cell, each tissue. And the less breathing here is due to the less breathing will lead to hypoxia. The hypoxemia, in this way the blood containing oxygen with the hemoglobin will be less as compared to the normal routine. So the heart which that will be suffer the fatigue and heart beat faster, coronary circulation deprived, and aerobic respiration decreases. In ischemia, it means the cell will be damaged due to the hypoxia, and anaerobic glycolysis will occur and not oxidative phosphorylation, and the heart attack and failure, ischemic stroke, and the reperfusion injury after the ischemia. It can be caused. So anyhow, let's begin to understand the further description. So here I am drawing the bigger picture of the cell. For example, suppose this is the peripheral part of the cell, like muscle. Bound with the insulin receptor, the insulin GLUT4 channel will be open, lead to glucose move into the cell. And the ADP and the NAD will be converted into the NADH and ATP through glycolysis to produce pyruvate, and the pyruvate further NADH and NAD plus in the absence of oxygen because the hypoxia will lead to produce more ATP. But this is the major mechanism a mitochondria is not using currently during the exercise, and in this way the anaerobic respiration will produce the lactic acid will lead to muscle contraction and due to the ATP and the muscle breakdown. So the NADH is using for the production of lactic acid, not using for the oxidative phosphorylation in the electron transport chain in the mitochondria. So in this way the pH will be decreased, will lead to pain and fatigue due to the acidosis. So anyhow, let's begin to understand with the lactate threshold. What is the lactate threshold? It means our body will produce the lactate a minimum amount, for example, their level. But when rise the level of the lactate will lead to cause lactic acidosis. So how it is possible? Here is the vertical show the lactate in the form of millimole per liter, while the exercise intensity show the horizontally. So in this way the lactate 1 threshold and lactate threshold 2 I am designing. So here the low intensity normal workout will lead to not cause the lactic acidosis or threshold cross, while the moderate can cross, but the high intensity will lead to cause more acidosis. In this way the more lactic acid production due to the anaerobiosis. So the anaerobiosis occur due to the high intensity workout will lead to produce lactic acid, lead to cause lactic acidosis. While here is the muscle fatigue will also occur due to the less production of ATP due to the anaerobic respiration, and due to the inhibition of oxidative phosphorylation in the mitochondria. So the limiting blood flow to muscle due to the constriction, and the output will increase of the heart, and ATP uses to break the bridges between actin and myosin inability, and the muscle breakdown will occur. On the other hand, the lactic acid fermentation and oxidative phosphorylation decrease, limiting blood flow to muscle fibers causes the anaerobiosis and the preventing oxidative removal of lactic acid. And in this way, the preventing oxidative removal of lactic acid, which that will lead to cause the muscle fatigue. So when remember that things, basically the heartbeat faster will lead to more cardiac output, and the sympathetic nerve innervation will lead to cause more heartbeat, but the input will decrease and the oxygen unavailability due to the breathing disturbance. And the lactic acid accumulates, preventing the skeletal muscle relaxation will lead to cause the muscle fatigue due to the knot attachment. So the oxidative phosphorylation here through mitochondria due to the hypoxia will decrease. In this way, the ischemia will occur, and after this, the reperfusion will lead to cause injury. So on the other hand, the adaptation for lactate prevention is the basically the five mechanism. The five mechanism, like here is the number one is the increased mitochondria replication to use more oxygen for more ATP production. So in this way, the mitochondria will increase and the oxygen using will be increased. While on the other hand, when mitochondria will decrease, so the oxygen is not used completely. So increase muscle fiber density and myoglobin, which that store the oxygen and bone strength, and more RBC for the hemoglobin increase and the glycogen stores, as well as the creatine phosphate will be increased as a storage of the energy. While the liver, the production of the more glucose and beta oxidation of fatty acid and ketogenesis lead to keto adaptation. And number four is the vasodilation for more glucose and the oxygen transport. In this way, the vasodilation is very important for the muscle growth and muscle providing the energy in the muscle. So this is the adaptation. It is not initial stages, but when you will chronically exercise will lead to adapt and increase lung volume. So that is why the V shape of the exercise person, and increase the alveoli and the breathing more ability. So I hope you make sense about the exercise and anaerobiosis and the adaptation. So in this way, you can see that the lactate threshold control due to the when we will chronically exercise, so we will adapt and the lactic acid will not produce. By this mechanism, increase the mitochondria for oxidative phosphorylation increase, as well as the oxygen storage through hemoglobin, myoglobin, which that is the part of adaptation. Otherwise, the lactic acidosis and heart failure can cause. But remember, this is a normal exercise will give the adaptation and get stamina. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe. Bye.